We have the great honor of having our CEO, Jussi, coming to answer some questions. Maybe some that you know already and that everybody keeps asking you, and maybe a few questions that maybe could be new. How are you doing, Jussi?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And I'm very happy to see all you guys on this call today. So thank you very much for taking your time, and also for the ones looking at the recording. So it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Voilà, je suis très content pour être là. Merci de m'avoir invité. Merci pour avoir des questions à me poser. Donc, on va pouvoir commencer. Je vais commencer par lui expliquer qu'on a été au courant de son intervention la dernière fois, lorsqu'il y avait le call avec une autre équipe française, et que du coup, on va rentrer directement dans le vif du sujet. So, the first question, and we're going to go straight in, one that so many people have asked and asked me in the past, and I know you have the answer. Today, the process to enter through AMPLIVO requires many small steps that are losing time, like sending the money and then the support checks it, and then we have this gift code activation. And we know that today we have a much faster process with, for example, crypto unique QR codes that are just active for that transaction and so on. Today, we have some people that have been deterred by the fact that there's so many steps. So I would like to ask you, have we planned anything to make it easier?
Yes, absolutely. And maybe this is one thing that is important to highlight, that when we at CORSAIR, when we took over the AMPLIVO network marketing company about a little bit over 2 years ago, we have still been using the same IT system that was there from the beginning of the project. And we have done a multiple of advancements and improvements to that system already. And we are at this moment developing our own IT system, which will replace the old one entirely.
Okay, thank you so much. That's a great answer. I'm sure everybody's happy and just eager to have this new process.
Yeah, I know. Myself as well. You know, we want to make it the best for you guys and all of us, and we're doing the best we can in order to make it fast.
Great. So I invite you to move to another topic. And this is a good one, because at the moment I'm training the team on understanding very well the entire business model, both of the industrial part of CORSAIR and of AMPLIVO and the tokens and the companies on the market. So this is the question. The question is, knowing that at the end of the day, the companies that are buying their plastic neutrality could have directly bought their tokens from CORSAIR, and that you guys would have stayed in the core of the ecosystem, and that would have been also maybe financially more interesting. Why, in that case, have you chosen to develop a network marketing in between the industrial part and the open marketplace?
We could even say like this, that we didn't find network marketing found us. Let's say like that.
Okay.
And you know, I have a background myself in network marketing in the early 2000s, and I let's say that I owe my career, even in the real estate development and the other things that I've done, to network marketing. And to say the least, there is no other such efficient, straightforward, and effective way of distributing our message than what network marketing can bring for us.
Nice.
I believe that if we want to reach out to as many people as possible in the fastest time possible, there is no other better way than network marketing to distribute our message globally. And another aspect that the network marketing brings to our industrial operations, which is something that nobody else in our industry has, is the amount of connections that we are able to create and attract through the AMPLIVO network marketing organization.
Would it be right to say that, for example, the projects around, maybe not Finland, but at least the new one in Italy, were connected through...
Even Finland.
Even Finland, okay.
Yeah, all of them. All of these project locations, all of these partnerships that we're doing are somehow connected to people with relationships through the AMPLIVO network.
Amazing.
the AMPLIVO network of people, if we think about ourselves as a industrial company in the chemical recycling field of business, that is our superpower, because nobody else has that kind of additional element in their business. So in my opinion, like when somebody, and I understand it, that network marketing, unfortunately, has in many cases a negative sort of image attached to it, which is very unfortunate. And that is because this great system has been misused by so many wrong kind of people by doing scams and all these kind of bad businesses that has sort of tarnished the image of otherwise a great industry. But network marketing is such a powerful way of marketing and distributing anything that we want. And I believe, and it is my hope and desire and target, that through the AMPLIVO network, we will be able to clean the network marketing industry and make it better again, and also improve its general image as a company of AMPLIVO being in this industry.
Nice.
And there's always going to be bad operators in every industry. But what we want to be is we want to become one of those network marketing companies that people respect. And they hear a network marketing, AMPLIVO, yeah, they're doing the right thing. And then you got all these other 1,000 different companies that are doing something crazy. But AMPLIVO is a straightforward, real operating company which operates according to the laws and the regulations and pays taxes and does the things in the proper way like it's supposed to be done. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And that's why, for example, that our approach from the very first moment when we took over the AMPLIVO company was to go towards regulation. We want to be regulated. We want to be operating according to all the government regulations and not to run away from it, but to go towards it. But network marketing is very much in our DNA. It's very much in our spirit. And I truly love the fact that we are working together with this group of people from around the world who share our passion for cleaning up the environment from the plastic pollution and building success and financial stability while doing so.
Last point on this one, would you say that at the end of the day, the heaviness that you have to handle that are coming from the fact that you use the network marketing is greatly overcome by the benefits that you get from it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Just to add to that, I mean, I have been asked the question even by some of the people in the industry. One of those was a director of one of the largest petrochemical companies in the world that I was having a meeting with, and he was very well aware about all these attacks that we had been receiving because of our involvement with network marketing. If we didn't do those, if we weren't involved in network marketing, CORSAIR as a company would not have been receiving some of those false attacks that we have received over the last 2 years.
What is it that he asked you exactly?
So I had this meeting with him and we talked about these attacks that we had done, and he asked me the question that would I still if I could go back to the 2 years ago, would I still make the same decision to take over the network marketing company as part of CORSAIR? Would I still do the same decision? And I told him the same thing. I said, absolutely. Because with the network, we have been able to expand so quickly around the world and to bring all of these contacts that we would not have otherwise. If it wasn't for the network marketing, I would be standing in trade shows, in exhibitions with a booth, talking to people about what we're doing. But now we got the network that is helping us to expand our message so quickly around the world.
I was diligent in teaching the group that here we have a utility token, so it will not become like Bitcoin. It cannot go to a crazy price because else the companies will not buy it anymore. So let's say that the price is somehow capped. And you mentioned that in your intuition and in your expertise, it would be reasonable to think that around 25 cents would stabilize. The question of the group then is, how will the AMPLIVO offer evolve for the members once we reach this saturation or this cap of the price?
Right. Well, there's maybe a little bit more to it, and I know that we've touched this topic before as well. So I'll give you the bigger picture of the plan and where we are moving with this. So first of all, we have to identify that we are now, with the CSR plastic credit, we are becoming a commodity, exactly like the carbon credit is. And the opportunities that we have in the commodity markets are so much more bigger than what they would ever be on the sort of normal traditional crypto market.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we're also not the only plastic credit out there, and that means that there is a general market development happening for plastic credits as a market alone. CSR won't be the last plastic credit, and it won't be the only plastic credit out there, but we will be hopefully remain to be the leading plastic credit in the world over the next coming years. So right now, today, the big corporations are comfortable of paying between 50 cents and $1 per kilo to offset their plastic waste footprint. We see that the new regulations, for example, from the European Union, involving the plastic recycling laws of 2025, which are going to come into effect and are going to make companies by law to become obligated to look after their plastic waste footprint. So what's happening really is that companies are today doing this voluntarily, but in the next coming years, it will become mandatory by law for them to start using these. And this is going to push significantly the demand on the plastic credits on the market, not only for CSR, but for every plastic credit out there. And the demand for the plastic credits is going to become so big that this is going to automatically push the price up much, much, much higher. And I think, as you said before, I think we're going to see the CSR value to go somewhere between, I would say, 25 cents up to 30 cents, $2.50 to $3 a kilo. I think that's going to be the sort of next milestone that the plastic credit market is going to grow to. To add to our strategy, so what we've decided to do is that now, starting from the year 2025, we are going to begin to mint the CSR annually based on the amount of kilos that is being recovered from the environment on a monthly or even a weekly basis. And that means that we are going to, in the year 2025, 26, 27, and so on, we're going to issue annual CSR plastic credits.
Mm-hmm. So this is to put in parallel with what is today. We have already minted the quantity, but they are released only once plastic is recycled. Okay, so everybody's on the stage.
So what will happen then is that starting from the year 2025, the CSR will become an annually released, annually minted plastic credit. And then we will still have the original CSR, which will have also a special additional element to it. Why would anyone, and what's the, let's say like this, what is the initiative? What is the incentive for someone to buy the plastic waste removal service or eventually the CSR plastic credit through the AMPLIVO network and not directly from the exchange? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I do believe that we are going to see a healthy sort of a balance between buyers coming into the AMPLIVO network and then buyers going directly into the exchange. Mm-hmm. Eventually, we want both.
Nous, à la fin de la journée, on veut les deux. On veut qu'il y ait des gens qui achètent par les deux moyens.
Because we want customers to come and acquire the virgin CSR through the AMPLIVO network, where they get it on a discount from whatever the market price would be, but they will have to wait for 12 months to receive all of those CSRs. And we're always going to remain to offer a discount so that anyone who wants to get the CSR at the best possible price will always be able to get them through the AMPLIVO network. And the people that are, or the companies that are buying the CSR through the AMPLIVO network as a part of the waste plastic removal service will be the ones who benefit from them reselling them to the bigger corporations, or by using them themselves to become plastic neutral as an individual. So we could simplify it in this way, say that the AMPLIVO network is more for the private individuals to acquire their CSR, whereas the exchange is more targeted towards corporations. So the AMPLIVO network and the private individuals are part of the creation of the CSR. And with our work, we are actually creating the CSR so that the bigger companies can go out and buy it simply from the exchange and then retire it. That's where it's going to, the direction where it's going to go mostly as we move into the future, which means that the private individuals are getting it at a cheaper rate through the AMPLIVO network. And then unless they want to retire it themselves, they can sell it for a higher price and the exchange whenever they choose to do so for the bigger buyers. That's how it's going to play out in the longer term.
I'm really happy what you say is what I had
thank you.
And presented to the
Perfect.
group, that you built
Very good.
a business model on the role of us, private individuals and entrepreneurs, as the cornerstone between the recycling activity and the industrial part, and the
exactly
change that happens outside of CORSAIR.
Exactly. And obviously then what we will be doing is that the price for the plastic removal service offered through AMPLIVO will always be at least 20% below what the market rate would be at that time. Plus, we obviously want to incentivize with bonuses and everything else, because this income that is generated now through the AMPLIVO network helps us to build these factories faster.
Great. So we can go on to that topic now, because we had a few questions regarding.
Perfect.
There is no commitment in what you say right now. It's simply that we would like to ask you as a person that has dreams and vision, where would we want to implement the next recycling plants?
Well, first of all, obviously we've now announced the Italian project on the island of Sardinia, which is going to be a major step forward for us to expand in the sort of Mediterranean area. But we do already have multiple projects in the pipeline, also in the Baltic states, as well as in many other Central European areas.
The Baltic countries, I'm not sure if I translate correctly.
It's basically Baltic states. It's Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. But also we are, I would say, we are very deep into the processing already in the Netherlands and the UK. Those are, I would, without announcing anything or making too much of a ruining any surprises that might be coming soon, but those are areas that we've been working for a long time, and we have some great progress over there as well. And just to add to that, for example, the collaboration now with the Count Energy Trading is a massive step forward on that, because through these guys, we also receive access to new levels of funding, which will help us to speed up the project development cycle of how quickly we can launch and develop projects. And there's also an important point when it comes to without going too much ahead of myself here, but these big oil companies are also very open for pre-purchasing, which basically means that us launching a new location would allow us to, for example, pre-sell 4 or 5 million euros worth of oil in advance, which means that we get the funding to build the factory faster, and then once operational, they will get the oil.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, and I can tell you that selling the oil right now is one of the most easiest things that we can do. There is so much demand for this product. It is absolutely crazy. I mean, we are talking about right now sending oil from Thailand to Europe, because in Europe they don't have enough. They have even bigger demand in Europe than in Asia right now. So I mean, our buyers in Europe are asking if we could ship the oil from Thailand. Right now we are sending everything to Singapore from Thailand, but you know, like the demand for this product is through the roof. It's unbelievable.
That's fantastic. I have one more question for you that maybe is not one of the most classical ones. We are convinced there is a great demand coming on the market for these products, so the recycled materials from plastic. And today we are focused solely on pyrolysis. My question is, do you foresee another technology that could expand very quickly and also answer or help to answer the demand for the recycled plastic materials?
There is definitely some new technologies that are being developed, and we are obviously very much keeping our eye on whatever solutions there might be. One of those is, for example, this technology where you could sort of dissolve the plastic chemically without heating it, but you could sort of, with chemicals, you could dissolve the plastic into liquid, and that's another emerging technology that we are definitely looking into. But for the time being, the pyrolysis is the most established and most effective way of treating these mixed plastics. And therefore, we are currently focusing on that. But of course, we are an operator. We are not committed into any specific solution or any specific technology. We are always looking for the best available method to be used at our recycling plants.
It's perfect to transition to the last question before we offer you to conclude for us, because this question was asked several times. Let's assume that we're going to stick with pyrolysis for efficiency and for the next few years. We have the ambition to open centers everywhere, like you were saying in the Vision 2030, 144 centers with many machines everywhere. If the market is exploding so much and many people are going to actually enter the market, how are we going to make sure that we have enough machines to do at least our work?
Well, at least for the foreseeable future, there is no shortage of acquiring technology. There are multiple producers that we are currently already working with. And if we would hit a roadblock where we just would not be able to attain enough of these machines, we do have already in our team 2 manufacturers that we could actually go and start building our own machines as well. It's not something that we are really aiming to do. It's not our purpose to be in the machinery manufacturing business. And even if we would build our own machines, we would only build them to our own use. We wouldn't sell them to anyone else. But we can do this if we want to, both in Asia and in Europe. But it's not really something that we are going to do unless it's really necessary.
Wow, that's a great news.
Now,
thank you. Let's continue.
Absolutely. And I wanted to add a little bit now when we've covered the topic of the machinery and the oil, and coming back to the topic of the original CSR. And I mentioned, and as you are aware, that there is this additional element attached to it as well. So let me just give a little bit more information about that. Yeah. So as we can see is that there is going to be levels where the buyers, the end users of plastic credits are going to be comfortable at paying for the plastic waste removal. And of course, eventually they have to pay whatever it costs, but there is going to be certain milestones in the market that we are going to see happen. And I think one of those is going to be that $2.50, $3 mark. Yeah. And then we'll see where it continues to grow from there. But we would obviously like to see the original CSR to continue to grow much beyond that value. So basically what we are going to do is we are now going to implement and channel part of the oil sales that CORSAIR is doing into buying back larger amounts of CSR from the open market on a continuous basis. So this means that when our oil sales are increasing, that means that the buybacks of CSR from the open market is going to increase while pushing the value of CSR higher and higher. And as per our existing plan, starting from the year 2025, January the 1st, we will no longer be distributing any more of the original CSR.
So it's the new version of the CSR that will be
distributed.
Okay.
Exactly. So the original CSR will be distributed until the end of 2024. Then we're going to stop that. And whatever hasn't been distributed by then will be burned, will be destroyed forever. Exactly. Okay. Now, from that moment onwards, the plastic waste removal service that is sold through AMPLIVO from 2025 onwards will now include that annually minted token, CSR 25, CSR 26, 27, and so on, which will be additional tokens next to the original CSR. So all of these CSRs are equally the same. They are all plastic credits, but the original CSR also has the additional element coming from the buybacks from the funds generated through the oil sales. Mm-hmm. Which means that from every liter of oil that is being produced by next coming years through these hundreds of recycling centers around the world, a part of that oil sales is generating more demand for the CSR and continuing to push that price higher.
Only for the CSR or the CSR 25?
Only for the original CSR. And that means that at some point, the value of the original CSR will become too expensive to be no longer used as a plastic credit. It will happen one day. And that means that it's still a plastic credit. You can use that still to become plastic neutral, but it will become too expensive because now it becomes an asset rather than anymore something that you maybe want to use to become plastic neutral directly. So once we're getting to a point with our plans where, let's say that we reach our target of 2030 and we generate about 1 billion liters of advanced bio oil a year, this provides for us an income of about 1 billion euros just from the oil sales annually. Let's say that we put from that one, for example, now 12% into the buyback of CSR, meaning 10 million euros a month is going into buying back CSR from the open market where there is limited supply. And we don't care what the price on the market is. We are looking to spend that money to buy back CSR at any cost. So if nobody wants to sell their CSR below $1 per token, then it will be bought back at $1 a token. And that is my target. My target is to bring the CSR to $1, and then the future only tells how high it can go from there. But because of the fact that the future growth of the CSR is based on, in this case, actual usability for the corporations around the world to make themselves plastic neutral, and then as the second phase, through the buybacks generated by the funds coming from the oil sales, there is really no ceiling on how valuable the CSR can become. And as you can see, this is all done by funds and income coming outside of the network. The network and the people are only there as a cornerstone, as you said, to help in the creation of the CSR, making this recycling possible. but the real money, the value that's going to generate those millions of income for the AMPLIVO members is coming from outside the network. So that's where we are going to go with the CSR. And that's why the original CSR is going to become so valuable and so sought after. And again, you know, I can guarantee you I'm not selling even one. And CORSAIR is not selling even one CSR. That's for sure.
Are they going to buy these tokens or keep them also as a financial resource, possibly to sell when necessary?
Yes, no, we're going to keep them and we're going to hold them as an asset for the company. The reason for us to do this, and I'll explain you how the numbers work. We want to build CORSAIR as a company to become as valuable as possible on the stock market. And we want to build CORSAIR to become a multi-billion-dollar company traded on the stock exchange. And for any company who owns today, for example, Bitcoin, those Bitcoins are calculated in their balance sheet.
Et aujourd'hui, comme avec le Bitcoin, quand une entreprise possède des Bitcoins, c'est bien dans leur bilan financier comme une valeur qu'ils possèdent.
So the more CSR that CORSAIR can buy from the market, the more value it will have on its balance sheet. And the more valuable that those CSR then grow while they're in the possession of CORSAIR, the more valuable the company's value will come, which means that the more higher the stock price will go. So by channeling money from the oil sales into the buyback of the CSR and pushing the CSR value higher, we're actually making the company more and more valuable. And it's not based only on that value. Obviously, we will have a very strong cash flow as well. But this means that now the company can actually increase its own value by doing a service for everybody by buying back more CSR from the market. So it's a concept where everybody wins. And my target would be that one day we could buy back every single CSR that is out there. And whatever the price would be, doesn't matter. But that's basically the target for the CORSAIR company on a longer term.
So how does that work? If you end up buying all the CSRs as CORSAIR, then there's more demand for it, no?
Well, I mean, in the end of the day, that's an asset. It will become an asset class. Okay. And at some point, the CSR will no longer be used. It will be too expensive to use it as a plastic credit. So that's why we have the CSR 25, 26, 27, which are still used as only as plastic credits. But CSR will grow to become an asset class. It will become, people will never sell all their CSR, of course, to us. But what I'm saying is that we want to continue to channel money from the oil sales to push the demand higher and higher and higher. And you know, there's no ceiling how high the CSR. Can it go to $1,000? Absolutely. Can it go to $10,000? Absolutely. There is no ceiling. The question is only about how quickly and how fast the funds will be there coming in from the oil sales and pushing this. So right now, money from the AMPLIVO network is going towards financing plants, and then eventually those plants will generate funds that will be coming back into buying the CSR back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how it's going to be generating the win-win-win situation for everybody involved. I mean, it basically is like gold. Of course, you can still go and use gold today to a number of things, but there might be better ways, better materials to use than gold. Gold is now becoming a store of asset, a store of value, and that's what I see the CSR developing into, and while still being obviously a plastic credit.
Wow, that's a big news that you're dropping for us here. Yeah.
Perfect. Very good.
Yeah. Fantastic. So would you say that it's a bit like a gift to the people who were there first, right? Because what they own, which is the original CSR, you're going to end up
absolutely
up.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Well, I think the bottom line is that we are all in a very unique situation, and we are seeing this new market and new commodity class of plastic credits being developed in front of our eyes. And I can guarantee you that it's going to happen with or without us. It doesn't matter. If we stopped today, the plastic credit market will happen and it will grow and it will become a worldwide multi-billion-dollar industry, with or without us. And I don't think that there's really been an opportunity like this ever before in the hands of so many private individuals around the world, that again, by the use of the network marketing, we've been able to bring that power to the people and that benefit for the people, not just a few selected offices somewhere in the corporate towers, but actually to the people. But now with the plastic credit, this benefit and this opportunity belongs to the people. And it's going to be done on a much decentralized way, where it's going to be the private individuals that are helping to clean the planet from the plastic pollution that are going to get the financial value.
I think it's good enough for today. It's much longer than what I planned to have you, but you dropped a bomb, so we had to talk about it a little bit.
Oh, great. Thank you.
So thank you, Jussi, so much from my heart to coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. And explaining. And I know these topics we discussed together, we will continue to all have to talk about it. So the fact that we have the recording here with those questions, and that you really make sure that all these people are really clear on what we are doing and what is going to happen in the next few years for the global market, but also for their own finances, is amazing. I would like to ask you if you have a final message for this specific group that is working together in order to grow the market around AMPLIVO and really support the mission of CORSAIR.
Well, I really want to say thank you for each and every one of you. And obviously, thank you very much for yourself, Thomas, and thank you very much for Lumina and everyone else who are doing such an amazing job in your group. And I'm really grateful, first of all, for you inviting me to this call today. And I see a great future for us all together in this amazing opportunity. So thank you all very much again from the bottom of my heart.
In order to grow the market around AMPLIVO and really support the mission of CORSAIR.
Well, I really want to say thank you for each and every one of you. And obviously, thank you very much for yourself, Thomas, and thank you very much for Lumina and everyone else who are doing such an amazing job in your group. And I'm really grateful, first of all, for you inviting me to this call today. And I see a great future for us all together in this amazing opportunity. So thank you all very much again from the bottom of my heart.
Je voudrais vraiment vous remercier, donc Thomas, Lumina et vous tous, pour prendre le temps de comprendre et de développer cette opportunité avec nous et avec moi. Donc merci vraiment de m'avoir invité pour qu'on puisse en parler ensemble directement.
Great.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I know it's
thank you.
It's getting late for you. Thank you, Jussi, so much. I know
thank you.
Take the time to really unravel these revelations. And is it something we should not talk too much about? This plan you have with the...
No. This is all good. Please use it as much as you can.
Ok, fantastique.
Yeah.
Donc on a le droit d'en parler, hein. C'est pas non plus, c'est pas un secret là ce qu'il va faire avec le CSR, le fait qu'en fait ça va changer de raison d'être et que ça va vraiment avoir énormément de valeur pour nous tous dans le futur. Thank you, merci.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. We'll talk again soon.
Yeah. Jay, I dropped you a message. Please, I need you to listen to it. Thank you, guys.
We'll do so. Thank you.
Sorry.
Appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Restons ensemble, les amis, juste pour débriefer 5 minutes.
Okay.
You can go, Jussi. I'm just going to debrief with them.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Merci.
Waouh. Bah là, c'est vraiment... Je ne sais pas si vous avez vraiment pu suivre parce que j'étais en train de traduire et parfois, je n'ai pas traduit exactement les mots qu'il disait. J'ai vraiment fait de mon mieux. Maintenant, il faut quand même savoir que là, c'est quand même gros là, ce qu'il nous a révélé. C'est massif en fait pour nous parce qu'il a un certain plan pour faire évoluer le CSR lui-même, celui qu'on a aujourd'hui. Hein. Donc vraiment, là, il ne faut pas le vendre parce que maintenant que j'ai compris que son plan, c'est d'en faire un asset et qu'ensuite on continue avec une version éditable par année du CSR, ça change beaucoup de choses. Donc, Donc là, je dirais, le but, c'est plus de vendre le CSR quand il va prendre un peu d'argent dans 6 mois ou dans un an. En fait, là, le fait qu'on soit là au début avec
Mm.
lui dans la première version de ce qu'il est en train de lancer, ça va vraiment nous bénéficier énormément et voilà, c'est une très grosse nouvelle en fait finalement. Donc ça fait longtemps qu'on est sur le call, je ne vais pas vous retenir plus longtemps. Prenons le temps d'intégrer tranquillement, on en reparlera ensemble.